Whoa! I didn't see you guys there.
Oh man.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
On?
Good to see you, man.
Didn't expect you guys
Mark?
this early.
Oh, Andrew, I think there's a crack in your chair.
Dude, crack in the chair or campaign crackdown.
Alright,
No.
how many times are you gonna make a joke about
You
that?
really ran that into the ground, man.
This is the fourth consecutive week of a
Guys,
terrible joke
alright.
about the crackdown. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's not funny anymore.
I thought we were friends. I mean,
We're friends, it's just not a
We're
funny
friends.
joke.
I mean,
just
you laugh at jokes that your friends make to make them feel good about themselves. I mean,
Not this time.
Not this
Enough
joke.
is enough.
I can't fake laugh anymore. It's ridiculous.
Sorry. Welcome to Campaign Crackdown, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the first presidential debate that took place last Wednesday. We're also going to discuss the numerous pieces of political information that the candidates and campaign teams put out this past week. So, first, I will give you a rundown of what kind of press conferences, commercial speeches each team put out, and Andrew, Bilal, and I will give an in-depth look at the first debate. So first, posters. Sonic Stars and Stripes has an immigration poster. The Spoon Party has an energy independence poster, and the Tiger Shark Party has a gun control poster. Now, in the past week, the Sonic Stars and Stripes Party has talked about controlling the environment in a commercial. The Tiger Shark Party has a commercial on taxing the rich. The Spoon Party had a commercial on granting citizenship to illegal immigrants. And the Umbrella Party had a commercial that was pro-immigration, that wanted to make it easier for to have a clear path to citizenship and discourage illegals. We would also support undocumented children and increase border security. Now, for speeches and press conferences, presidential hopeful Dan Carroll gave a speech on mental health checkups. Presidential hopeful Shiv Ganesh gave a speech on gun control, which would place more regulations, and he suggested a fingerprint scanner on each gun. And I think, Bricker, we've had the press has begun to call Shiv a certain name, just sort of like Obamacare. You have some insight
Yeah,
on
there's
that?
been a nickname that has emerged for Shivaguru Ganesh, and it is Shiv Two Guns Ganesh, because one of the students, Brennan Kura, asked about the concerns of the fingerprint scanner, saying, what if a father takes his son out for a nice day of hunting using the one family gun? And Shiv said, in that case, you get two guns, one for the father, one for the son. I don't know how most Americans feel about having to buy a gun for their possibly 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 7, 8, 9-year-old son.
and Andrew, that's just not right. You know, you shouldn't, condone children having weapons or, buying your son a weapon. I mean, how's that helping his cause?
I wonder if he really feels that way, or he was just under the pressure of a press conference, because you know how heated they get.
Exactly.
And maybe if he is elected, we'll have to find that out soon.
Definitely.
Next, Troy Everly of the Tiger Shark Party gave a press conference opposing censorship, stating that it violated freedom of speech and it would also stop the development of new ideas. As for speeches, Catherine Hayes gave a speech on abortion. She's pro-choice. She would prefer that children live good lives instead of not being aborted and living poor, terrible lives under parents that may not care, but they didn't have the choice to get an abortion.
And she also believes it's a woman's constitutional right to be able to make their own decisions about their body.
Absolutely. She also believes in sexual education. That's what she stated in her speech. She wants to give sexual education to kids in schools so that they know how to make smarter choices when it comes to their body. And she puts abortion at the top of the agenda for the Spoon Party. Dan Carroll made a speech on immigration reform. He put that at the top of his list as well. He wants to make it easier to become a citizen and reduce illegal immigrants. He's also a strong DREAM Act supporter. Troy Everly made a speech on gay marriage. He is pro-gay marriage. He believes it's socially right. He believes it'll make the nation stronger through tax revenues on gay couples. And finally, Dan Carroll, on Wednesday, made a speech of how he wanted to increase the minimum wage annually with the cost of living, and he would like to increase it this upcoming year, if elected president, to $8.15 per hour. And that's the wrap-up for the week. We will now get into all the events of the first presidential debate.
Let's move on to the debate, Mark.
Okay.
Next up, we're going to talk about the debate that happened last week. So basically, we're going to go through all the topics, and then we'll basically say how we think each candidate did on the debate and the subtopic. So first is education. So across the board, it's basically pro-public education with slight differences, very small differences. And so you guys want to start off with Dan. How do you guys think Dan handled the questions in this?
I think Dan handled the questions pretty well, as did most of the candidates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them did a good job on this. Catherine Hayes had really good facts to back up her stances, and I'd say one drawback for Shiv would be Shiv was a little indirect in answering his questions.
Mm-hmm.
He had a very good initial stance, but when asked questions, he was a little indirect in approaching the question.
And it's not easy getting up there and defending yourself in front of 20 students, but to be president of the United States, that's kind of important.
It seems to be a trend in his press conferences as well. He really takes the questions and directs them to his party's stance, and he doesn't seem to completely answer an individual's question, which may be frustrating to some.
Which is good because it does highlight the viewpoints he has, but I mean after some time people catch on that he's not directly answering the questions.
Definitely.
Next up, marijuana legalization. How do you guys think everybody did on this?
Well, I think Troy Everly did a pretty good job in terms of the marijuana portion of the debate.
Yeah, it's very brief, but he was to the point.
And that's how he was throughout the entire debate. He didn't inundate his responses with facts. He just
fluff.
No fluff. He gave it straight to the audience and said, "This is what I'm going to do." And I think they appreciated his directness and how he just gave them the answer they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Bilal, how about you tell us a little bit about the healthcare portion of the debate?
Guys, I think it's time for a commercial break. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right. Shoes.
You wear them on your feet?
You wear them on your hands.
Shoes.
If you have a massive gash on your left leg, don't worry about going to the hospital. Get clear waterproof bandages by Care One. The only bandage you'll ever need.
Ping pong.
It's fun.
And safe.
And fun.
Ping pong.
Go. Tape.
And glue.
It's photo safe determined in accordance with the ISO standard 18916.
It's sticky. And tasty. Glue.
Tape.
Chair. You can sit on it. Chair.
Go.
Plant. Photosynthesis.
Go. Broom. You can sweep all your troubles away.
Blanket.
I like it.
It's warm. Heating unit.
It's fun.
And flammable. Paint.
So many different colors.
I could do this all day.
Paint. So healthcare, basically across the board, universal healthcare, private companies. It's really pretty much everyone's for the same thing.
There weren't many arguing points in this portion of the debate because everyone seems to have basically the same universal healthcare plan. So
Yep, they would love for the government to run the healthcare, and they believe it would offer healthcare to more people at a lower cost. One unique thing is Dan Carroll, the Umbrella Party, his universal healthcare plan is more voluntary. If you want to sign up for it, you can. If not, you don't have to. And it'd be interesting to see how that works because in Obamacare, as you know, the money from fines, which Dan would not have in his program. The money from fines and Obamacare would go towards the people who can't afford it. So it'd be interesting to see how Dan works it out. Right?
How about we move on to the drinking age blow?
This is probably the biggest,
like a great idea.
the biggest source of controversy in the entire debate.
And the Umbrella Party, the Sonic Stars and Stripes Party, and the Tiger Shark Party all agreed that the drinking age should stay as it is. But the controversy stemmed from Catherine Hayes' party talking about lowering the drinking age to 18.
And her reasons were that if an 18-year-old can fight in a war and make his or her own decisions for their country, he or she should be able to make the good decisions about their own health.
The student brought up a good point. The student asked, what would be the consequences of the first night when the drinking age is lowered? She asked what kind of, there would just be insanity, mayhem, chaos, and candidate Hayes didn't seem to have too much of a problem with it because she believes that teens will learn how to drink in a controlled environment with their parents. And she kind of compared it to the situation in Europe, but I think it's going to be difficult to change the culture of a 200 or so year old country when it's been this way for a long time now, and Americans behave the way they do, and they don't behave like Europeans. So that's an interesting point.
Exactly, and Catherine defended her point well, but there was an overwhelming amount of very good inquisitive questions asked, including a minute and 30-second question asked by one of the students, which basically, I don't know what the question was about.
What was the question about, Mark?
I don't think it was about anything. It was just a minute and 30 seconds.
It was about drinking and driving.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. And there was a minute and 30-second question asked by one of the students about the concerns of drinking and driving, which is definitely one of the main concerns of lowering the drinking age. There could be an increased risk of drinking and driving and fatalities, which would stem from this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's totally true, yes. Not many 18-year-olds would be drinking in a safe environment. And I'm pretty sure one student brought up that would an 18-year-old just go and buy his own, his own liquor and alcohol and just go throw his own parties?
Provide it to underclassmen.
Exactly. It would open the market up for alcohol for much younger kids than there are now. Think about it: a senior passing it down to a sophomore, passing it down to an 8th grader, and
middle school.
By that time, it'll be in elementary school if it keeps going that rate.
So should we just wrap it up at this point?
Yeah, I think it's time to, it's nothing we talked about.
I think it's time to wrap up.
Did everything well. Mark, you did well. Breaker, you did well. This is our last time here
It's
together.
been an absolute pleasure working with you guys for these last 4 weeks.
Mark, it has been a ride, and I've enjoyed every second of it.
Exactly. It's just like a roller coaster you never want to get off of, but, sometimes the ride just comes to the end, and,
Fortunately,
I
I
have to say
The
goodbye.
seatbelts come off, and you gotta get off.
Yep.
Yeah, so other people can get on.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you look really weird.
We'll have to turn this over to the juniors next year.
Yes.
I got some big shoes to fill.
You do. Size 12 and a half.
I'm size 12.
13 maybe.
I'm 15.
Oh yeah? Is that right?
Yeah.
I saw your shoes earlier.
Oh wow.
Yes,
he is.
Oh, he is. That man's got size 15 shoes. This has been Channel 3 News and reporting from the 4th and final week of the campaign.
Because there are 3 of us.
You will all be missed. Stay safe, America.